very valuable intervention. I'd like to give you a little bit of a report back on the investments that the UK has done over the years. Gabriel made mention that he actually joined the process as a junior negotiator when I was running the program at IID that Chala now does. And the result, this is UK funded program when he was a junior negotiator, and now he's the chair of the LDC group, and he's been a very, very good one. So I hope the UK taxpayer got value for money out of that investment. The one point I would though make is that it takes time. Capacity building is not a quick win solution. You have to invest in it for the long term if you want to get results in the long term. Okay, now I'm going to invite Angelique Pouponneau to speak. She is from the Seychelles, and she is part of a youth network. And a lot of the capacity building intentions that we have, both under Article 11 of the Paris Agreement and all the work that all of us are doing, is actually for the next generation and the young. And so I think it's important that we hear from them and learn what they are doing, learn from them as much as help them.
Good afternoon, everyone. As introduced, my name is Angelique Pouponneau, and I'm from the Seychelles. In 2018, I had the good fortune of being a beneficiary of capacity building, but also a designer and provider of capacity building. I'm an AOSIS fellow, so I'm a fellow for the Alliance of Small Island States. What that means is I spent a year in New York being trained up to be a negotiator within this UNFCCC process. It involves knowledge, skills building, as well as spending a very long time at the UN watching negotiations actually being done. So I'm a beneficiary of this capacity building initiative, but what I would like to tell you more about is what young people are doing on the ground, but also within this space. And as our Honorable Chair of the LDCs have said, it's not just about finance, right? It's vitally important, but it's really about how organizations and others are able to build youth capacity to enable resilience building of institutions. So for example, my own organization in the Seychelles, the SIDS Youth Aims Hub Seychelles. So it's an organization that is a youth platform that promotes and advances sustainable development through youth-led projects. And we have a few initiatives partnering with the Youth Climate Lab, which is a Canadian youth organization. So it's sort of tropics and Arctic youth getting together. So, but there's one point I want to make here is that sometimes youth are only identified as beneficiaries of capacity building. And I think we need to move to the next level of not only being beneficiaries, but allowing young people to design capacity building initiatives themselves, execute it, develop it, execute it, and even as far as monitoring and evaluation. So I'd like to give two examples of two capacity building initiatives that the Seychelles government, as well as my organization and the organization in Canada supports, or designed and put together, really. So any young person who has been to conferences, we often feel like you can imagine a family dinner table, and you've got the adults table and the children's table on the side. And we're often felt that we're sitting at that children's table a lot of the time. So we decided, how do we have meaningful engagement of young people during the negotiation process? So we set up something called the Seychelles Support Team. So the Seychelles Support Team is where young people from around the world, including Seychellois youth, international and Seychellois, come together. The Seychelles government provides them a badge, so they have access to the negotiating room, so they're sort of bumped up to the adults table. But more than that, we want them to be able to engage in a meaningful conversation and understand what's going on. So what we do is host something called the Prep for COP. It's an initiative that we put together alongside the Commonwealth as well. I know the UK is here, and something they're currently chairing office and support. So with the Prep for COP, we bring young people within the Indian Ocean, and finance allowing, from the Caribbean and the Pacific as well, and we prepare young people to have meaningful engagement through capacity building in person. After that, 2 to 3 weeks leading on to the COP, we actually have online training. So we invite experts in different fields to give those young people who are going to be attending these negotiation hours. I think this year we managed to get about 12 hours of training on different subject matters to actually enable them to understand what's going on in the negotiation. So now we're here at this negotiation, and it's not just about sitting in the back rooms or in the back rows and taking notes. We have more than that. Not only does Seychelles get to have a bird's eye view of everything going on in the room because of these young people, additionally, they're providing tools that are being able to be used by some of the Seychelles delegation, side-by-side comparison of the text, for example, for us to be able to see what's actually changed. They've been providing feedback and statements that can be included in the Talanoa dialogue. They've been providing statements that can be included in the minister's speech. This is what we want to ensure. Capacity building that's actually meaningful, and we see that young people are benefiting from. And all of this has been designed by young people, executed by young people, and we'll definitely be monitoring and evaluating how well it's going. I'd like to now turn to what we're doing back at home, equally important. We believe that it's very important to actually provide the opportunity and space for young people to do things. So with my organization, we decided to tackle another issue, the other driver of the use of fossil fuels, plastics. So we decided to run, despite some opposition, a Seychelles Free from Plastic Bags campaign. We ran that campaign, lobbied strongly, and finally convinced the government in 2017, July, to ban plastic bags and other single-use plastics such as cutleries and styrofoam takeaway boxes from the Seychelles. And we were involved all along the way. We lobbied for legislation. We were involved in writing the legislation to ensure that our voices were actually seen through law. But additionally, this was an opportunity. We didn't want people to feel that we were trying to take away their jobs or trying to make plastic something that's what they felt they couldn't live without. But we really wanted to provide real opportunities post that. So I want to share two sort of my proudest achievements. The first is a project that we had with the Seychelles prison. So in an attempt to bring environmental sustainability as well as a rehabilitation, we engaged the female inmates in the prisons to actually make new bags that could be used in the outside community instead of plastic bags. So we had these inmates who are actually contributing to SDGs and actually addressing plastic pollution. But what was, I think the great story that comes out of that was the men felt isolated. So the men the male inmates decided that they also wanted to participate in this, and the Seychelles prison has a music studio inside. So they actually wrote a song for us that could be projected to the Seychelles community about why they shouldn't use plastic bags. So this is something that's very touching to us, but it moves a step further. The lady who was teaching the female inmates how to make these bags was soon enough acquitted on appeal. We then engaged the same young lady to teach unemployed youth after she left prison to actually create a new sustainable business by creating reusable bags and other biodegradable products. So this is us, young people, being given the opportunity and space to design, to create, and come out with something that, as you said, not a fly-in and fly-out consultant approach, but young people within a country developing their own initiatives. But it's not about just money. We also want mentorship. It's not about just that 3-day workshop. We want mentorship long-term. And I think that goes a long way in what young people have enjoyed. And one of the examples I can give is the Seychelles support team, which is mentorship both ways. We have international youth, some of which are very seasoned coppers, as I'm calling them, who are giving that mentorship to very new Seychelles and other international youth. But the mentorship is not one way, it's the other way as well, to allow empathy and development of understanding of each other's issues from different national perspectives. Something that I think that's enabled us to bridge and bring out solutions in this international process. So my final message is one that give young people the opportunity to redefine what is possible, and I think a lot is possible when we are engaged in this process. And from the starting point, not sort of midway. So we're here to show that what is possible of these negotiations, and having young people really redefine what is possible and what is feasible. At the same time, being able to be in this space gives us young people a real appreciation of the challenges of this work, but also thinking about how we can replicate and really scale up the efforts that we have. These are not initiatives that we just want for the Seychelles. These are initiatives that we want to share with youth from around the world. Thank you.
Thank you.